Hello, beautiful peasants, and welcome to another day at the TAVERB. I'm feeling a little ambitious today. We're going to sculpt a Minotaur dragon. This is a request, and we're doing it from scratch. I definitely have a lot of components that I could get bashed together because it's very kind of gargoyle-esque and whatnot, but I don't know. I feel like I should do it from scratch today, so that's what we're doing. I woke up kind of late today for no real reason. It was great. That's why the stream is starting at 1 and my hair is still wet. But yes, I hope y'all are doing well. I know it has been a tough summer for a lot of people, so we don't have to worry about that. Kick back, grab a drink, grab a snack. Your only job is to enjoy some sculpting nonsense. Big hello and warm welcome to Dahlia, Paint, Empress, my husband, Ricky, and Satyr. We have a Satyr sighting today. Hello, hello. Awesome. Satyr says, I'm looking forward to how this comes out because I have a hard time picturing it. Same. Honestly, same. When I show my reference board here, you'll kind of see the way I'm breaking this down and piecing it together. I am so glad that the requester, Beth, sent me a reference of what they were talking about because they described it as a half Minotaur dragon, and I was like, what? Yeah. Will it be a Dragontar or a Minoragon? I think this is more on the Dragontar side. Here's a picture of it. Yeah. Satyr says, sorry for my absence. Shit done hit the fan around here. It's not just you. Oh my goodness. I was talking to Rob this morning. He had sent me some references for, we have another crazy cool sculpt coming tomorrow. So y'all are being treated this week. But yeah, even he was like, hey, sorry I haven't been around. Like, it's been a time. And I'm like, it's not just you. It's just, something in the air. The TAVERB is still up and running. Everything here is same old, so hopefully the stream makes your day just a little bit better. And hopefully autumn brings some cooler vibes, literally and figuratively, to everyone. Yeah. But it's kind of part of it, you know, and better to have nonsense now, I feel like, than during the holiday season. I am like a proper Grinch. I am not a huge holiday person. I just think it's a lot of like, I don't like plans, so I think that speaks for itself. Yeah. Oh, Shiitake is back. Hello, hello. I finally made it to a stream again. How is everyone? Everyone is doing good enough. The peasants are tired, I think. And that is a-okay. That's what the TAVERB is for. Kick back, grab a drink, grab a snack. Ideally a seat too. Hopefully y'all are able to kind of relax. And we're gonna do some cool sculpting today. I had a great day yesterday. I just kind of chilled. I can't remember the last time that I took a day off in the middle of the week just to be nothing. It wasn't because I was sick. I was like laying on the couch, curled up, watching true crime documentaries all day. And speaking of, it was something, what was it? It had to do with, what was the title of it? Samantha, it was just like, it's like a kidnapping case. It's like 13 Years of Terror. It was very, very good. The woman that went through it, she's just so metal. She has no reason to be so metal and so cool and so tough. Anyway, great. Highly recommend. Hey Max, welcome in. Hello, hello. Oh man, we have a strong start today. I like it. Again, I think it's just natural. Like at the end of summer, people get a little burned out. It's natural. Speaking of, I'm crocheting again. It's a narwhal. It's missing a horn. It's not done. But yeah, I'm finally finding time to crochet again. I literally have not even touched a crochet hook in, I don't know. This might be the first time this year, honestly. So it's totally normal to fall in and fall out of things. Everyone, it's really common I'll hear like, I always drop my hobbies. And I'm like, no, it's normal that you don't do them for a while and you come back to them. So I'm coming back to crochet. I hope y'all also have things that you get to come back to. It really needs the horn. Otherwise, it's just an orb. It really needs to be more like squishy shaped, dome shaped, whatever. It will be a narwhal soon. Empress says, I'm great. I've been waking up early these last few days, like 5, 6 a.m. Girl, I got up at like 11 today. Good for you. Anyway, super inspired and driven to do things. So I literally can't complain besides the usual stuff. That's fantastic. Oh, I'm so happy. Well, good. Empress has some good vibes to bring to the TAVERB today. We're gonna focus on that. I love that. It does look like Whalmer. It does. That's a Pokemon that I know it's someone's favorite out there. Not mine. It's just a whale. Alright. Have we been greeted? Do y'all feel greeted? I'm gonna kind of just move on to Tavern Keeper's Craft. Yeah. Sater says, I feel like you like the felting thing that people are doing these days. It's just so much stabbing. You know? I don't know. It's a lot of stabbing. And that's like this ugly orb. I think I like this so much because like each stitch that I do feels like it looks clean right away. I don't know. Maybe I don't think I have enough vision to do felting, which is hysterical because I sculpt for a living. No, Sater, you're probably right. I probably would like it. I might try that. Yeah. Max says I love needle felting. Well, then I gotta try it. Y'all are right. Sater says a lot of the 3rd gen Pokemon feel very uninspired. I want to agree. I have a really hard time separating generations. I would love to be, the fact that you know that Whalmer is 3rd generation, props to you. I'm useless with that. I just know OG, oldish, and new. Those are my 3 categories. So yeah. Hey Aloha, welcome in. Aloha is spoiling y'all. We have a really cute like winter overlay coming. You won't see it until November because we can't skip fall, but it's gonna be up for months. It's gonna be super cute. Aloha, you're gonna love today's stream. It's sculpting from scratch. It's vibes. It's gonna be a good time. Speaking of, I have closed the TAVERB menu today. So earlier this week, I finally, because you guys know you can spin the Wheel of Chaos, buy Q&A sessions, whatever, and I call it the TAVERB menu. So anytime you do a super chat, you can like buy things, right? I think it's cool if I have the menu like in the description every day and I can update with what I'm willing to do. Because if I'm going to give like shitty answers, I can tell you guys no Q&A is available today because I don't like answering questions, right? I've decided the entire menu is closed today. Obviously, you still can do super chats, you still can donate and tip. I obviously appreciate that. But you're not going to get anything. It's just good vibes. I would just say thank you and just move on. Because today I really want to focus on this sculpt from scratch. So yeah, look at me setting a boundary and expectations. Yeah, proud of me. Sater says, I know it's 3rd gen, speaking about Pokemon, or post because I stopped paying attention after 2nd gen. That's a very fair marker. Yeah. Hey, Duke's here. Hello, hello. Shiitake says, I'm getting sculpting for my senior project at my uni, actually. I'm usually just doing painting and crochet stuff, but I'm excited to see what I can achieve. Oh, I'm excited for you. How awesome. How awesome. I love the little bromance we got between Sater and Duke here. It's fantastic. All right. So I think that's everything. We did hello. We did good vibes. Yeah, what a strong showing. More than a dozen people here from the get-go. Oh, as you come in, please like the stream. Grab a seat, grab a snack, grab a drink. I just have water, but it's in a Bucky's cup, so I feel like that makes it more fun. I mentioned TAVERB menu is closed today. Donations get you nothing other than a thank you and a smile. And I think we're set. Aloha says, can anyone guess my favorite Pokemon? There's pulling on the line. I would say, if I had to guess, how do you pronounce it? Mimikyu? It's the Pikachu knock. I mean, there's many. This would be my guess for you, Aloha, what your favorite Pokemon is. If y'all don't mind, if we could just kind of share a favorite Pokemon right now, I think that'd be really cute. My favorite is Absol. It's always been my favorite. Which is funny because it like never shows up. It's not very common. It's one of those like pseudo legendaries. Yeah. Rapidash is a fair guess. Not for Aloha. It's more of a good one for me. That'd be a good guess for me. Mr. Mime. Jinx. Horrible. Aaron is yours? Oh, I love that. Trubbish. Literal trash. Oh my god. Favorite Pokemon has to be Magikarp. Really? Not Gyarados? Like, I mean, that's fine. Like, that's cute. I love this because, again, there is every Pokemon is somebody's favorite, and that just baffles me. I love it. Basic answer is Eevee, but it's my favorite. Hey, I got no problem with that. You love a classic. At my basic, it's tie between Arcanine and Leafeon. That's respectable. I like Leafeon a lot. Oh my god, Gengar! Duh! I should know, because yeah, Gengar's a really solid pick. That was kind of close knowing it's Ghost type, but it's not as cute as your usual. I mean, Gengar's kind of cute. Okay, I like it. Okay, I can talk about Pokemon all day. Y'all, talk about whatever you want. If you have any questions for me, feel free to tag me in YouTube with @M3DM or here. Yeah, you know, he is cute. I see it. I see it. All right. And let's move. Welcome to the Tavern Keeper's Craft. So if you are new here, which I don't think y'all are, we have like 12 viewers and like literally 12 people in the chat, but I'll pretend like this is your guys' first time. So the Tavern Keeper's Craft is when I bring someone's request to life. If you want to submit a request, that costs money. That is how my Patreon works. Link in the description to that. Moving on. Everything is 3D printable. It's not designed for 28mm scale, but the beauty about 3D models and 3D prints is you can scale it up to be as big or as small as you want. Pretty fun. Alright, so today's request is from Beth. And Beth says, what are the chances of getting a half-dragon Minotaur? I have a picture for reference. Another bonkers build I am shocked my DM is letting me play. So this is one of those monster sculpts that I would say, it's okay if it's not a normal, like, base shape because nobody's going to play this as their character. No, this is Beth's player character. Okay. I even told them, like, I cannot believe your DM is letting you play this. And they're like, well, I think they said it's like an Underdark campaign or something, so everybody is playing as a monster. Still, any DM that lets their player fly is generous. That's all I'm gonna say. So this is the reference they provided, and I kind of looked at this and broke it down of what it is. So we have a bull head. The body, I kind of just surmised is gorilla-esque. Again, it's kind of a dark picture, so I'm kind of doing my best here. And then just normal dragon wings. So I grabbed a couple of references in the Minotaur. I like this because it was pretty stylized, and I like how the planes of the face were really simplified, and I think I'll need that. And I grabbed some sculpts that I liked. And then I also grabbed references, obviously real pictures, and then gorillas, because I really think that's what the body, I mean, that's almost spot on. That's what the body's reminding me of. So anytime that you're sculpting a monster, you really should be grabbing real animal references because there's no freaking way that your monster or creature doesn't exist in some part in reality, in nature. I like this reference a lot. And then dragon feet, because I'm not gonna give him like gorilla feet or gorilla paws. I don't even know what you call them. Hands feet. So yeah, those are the pieces. And I only grabbed one wing. I just thought this was really fun and really spidery looking. So I'll do some sort of combination between this wing, and we'll see what we end up with. Yeah, it's gonna be a lot. Yeah, and versus like a player character, some DMs can just handle it. I don't know. Like Satyr was like, meh, flying player characters are not as big of a deal. People make it out to be. There you go. We have found the fun DM in the chat. It will not be me. I'm gonna have a... Who would win, 100 gorillas or the Dragon Minotaur? I'm gonna go with the Dragon Minotaur because it can fly. Okay. Just put a 10-foot ceiling up. That's hysterical. Like, the entire campaign has a 10-foot ceiling. Oh, that's annoying. I love it. I love it. Okay. I'm gonna throw this back onto my other monitor here, and that will just be a little guide reference for me as I forget what shapes are. So yeah. Let's go ahead and start blocking this out. I'm gonna grab my first reference, will be the gorilla from the side view, because that's gonna be what I'm gonna have the hardest time with. Or not, I don't know. Let's... Good vibes. Does the reference picture have 6 legs? Do not put that evil on me. No, it does not. I immediately panicked. I was like, don't tell me there's 6 legs. No, there's only 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And 2 wings. Yeah. Yeah. Oh no, Shitaki's gotta leave already. No worry, I'm glad that you stopped by even just for a little bit. Bye. Alright, first thing we're going to do is fix the lighting to look fun. I have a macro that maps that for me. Let's go with a lighter color here. Big yawn. Okay. And, alright. Do art things, brain. The way I'm looking at this and my brain's kind of like sleepy. I'm like, no, do stuff. Do stuff. Okay. We're gonna say this is the head. So I'm going to work with the clay brush. Ooh, some good references. Oh, heck yeah. Rajang, or whatever the heck, from Monster Hunter. And then whatever this is, the fiery gorilla man. I hated this thing. I don't know why. Like, it was really hard for me to fight, and then one day it just wasn't. Good references. All right, we are going to start. I'm going to just carve in some eyeballs here, and then a snoot. It's already looking so baby and so cute. We're gonna have this at a pretty low resolution. There we go. Oh, heck yeah. I like this too. Obviously, anything Avatar I'm gonna like. So I'm just kind of roughly shaping the head out. And that's what we're gonna be doing for pretty much this whole thing. We'll just be getting some rough shapes in. All right, that looks enough like a head shape. I'm gonna use Trim Dynamic to throw in some planes. Plane, plane, plane. A plane is just anything that's flat. There you go. Good enough. And next we're going to just pretty much append a bunch of cylinders and spheres as we build this together. And then just a reminder that there's a lot going on with this monster, right? And this could be really intimidating. You just do it one piece at a time. Not to get too philosophical on you guys this early in the stream, but I know a lot of y'all are going through it right now. No matter how big your problem is, you really can only deal with it one step at a time. So you just need to worry about the next step. You don't need to worry about the whole big picture the whole time. There we go. And at any point, if you guys have questions, let me know. It's kind of just going to be building up our shapes here, kind of finding like that's a torso. Let's get it a little wider in the front here. Looks kind of like a dog right now. I am most concerned. Yeah, I noticed you have this fun banner thing, Aloha. I do like that. Very cute. But yes, anything that you do here, it's just about, okay, literally I'm looking at this and I think, he doesn't have a butt. So I add a subtool and I'm like, great, now he does. I'm not really worried about how perfect it looks. I'm just looking at what pieces are missing and then I can modify them then. So the next glaring thing that he obviously is missing are legs. So I'm gonna add some legs. And if it sounds like, oh Mia, you're oversimplifying this, it's actually so much more difficult. I guess. But honestly, it can be that simple, where you're just looking at what's missing, and then you just add those pieces. So the difference is the gorillas kind of have this like frontward shape. Frontward. Also, why is this so heckin' big in the scene? I'm gonna merge everything down really quick and click Unify. There we go, because I'm like, my brushes are acting all stupid. There we go. So gorillas kind of have more of like this front shape. This will have a, I don't know, normal elbow. So I'm gonna make sure to structure it that way. It's looking really blobby and I'm happy with that because I'm not concerned about all the subtleties. I'm mostly just concerned about, does it have all the shapes it's supposed to have? Considering right now it still doesn't have forearms or a tail or wings, then no. As you get better, you'll be able to be more accurate even as you're kind of throwing shapes together. But I find this is the easiest way for me to handle this stuff. I'm going real low poly. Obnoxiously low poly. There we go. That's too low. Or maybe not. I wouldn't mind that. There we go. And then something that I notice I've done recently is I don't add the feet. And that affects the silhouette so much. So I'm gonna make sure that I add that earlier on from now. Low poly time. Heck yeah. Oh goodness. So 4 legs, 2 arms, and 2 wings. Is it the mammalian arachnid? Maybe. Can be whatever you want. Hey Foxy, how is it going? Oh, Seder has to mute the stream, not a problem. Well, you guys heard him. If you need him, add him. Everyone at Seder. I'm just joking, please leave him alone. Empress says, speaking of looking like a dog, I've been trying to figure out what noise I could use to get that short, fine fur look. You're not going to use a noise modifier for that because it's not going to get the directionalness of hair. Literally just like go to Pinterest or ArtStation and type in like Doberman sculpt or like any dog that has short hair, like Dachshund sculpt. Well, some Dachshunds have long hair. And just look at sculpts and how people have done it, especially traditionally with clay. That will get you closer. Whenever you're working on something, really think, has someone solved this problem before? Yes, it's good to kind of have your own solutions and whatever, but there's nothing wrong with being like, someone has solved this problem before me. I do not need to discover what the solution is. I'm gonna go find what someone else did. Emperor says, okay. So right now I'm going to create the horn shape. I'm just using a curved tube brush. And I'm just going to, there you go. Nice and quick. I've done that technique a lot on stream before, but if this is your first time and you're like, wait, that was so cool, what the heck? Just let me know and I'll redo it. You might need to put at M3DM in the chat, otherwise I might miss you. So just keep that in mind. Yeah, you don't always have to reinvent the wheel, and honestly, lovingly to my students, it's not that you shouldn't even try, it's just that you're probably gonna make it, it's not gonna be great. So just do it the way that's been done before first, and then kind of expand off of that. All right, we're gonna go to lock start so I can get this tail into place. Because right now if I drag the tail and I try to reposition it, it's gonna just move the whole thing. God, these baby proportions are so funny. It looks very baby right now because the way it's all scrunched up, but we're gonna fix that. There we go. And then we'll make it a little bit longer. I love a long, dramatic tail. Wow, can we just stop being so fluid? There we go. I was like... There we go. Again, I'm just looking at this and thinking, what is it missing? What is it missing? Like, it doesn't have a tail, it doesn't have this. Right now, it doesn't have that little fur tuft on the end of its tail, so I'm gonna add that. I am so not caring, really, about... if I get the proportions correct or the shape correct at all, that's all bonus points. Seriously. We are not concerned about that yet. Foxy says, Mia, how many sets of legs on this beast today? Why do you guys all keep asking me that? You're stressing me out. There's just 4, right? Because someone else was like, oh, there's 6 legs there. And I'm like, no, don't even say that. Like, that would be so difficult to deal with. 4. 4 legs, 2 wings. Dragon. Hey, Taylor's here. Welcome in. I love Avatar: The Last Airbender, but I always thought Flopsy was poorly thought of design. You know, I thought he was a little odd looking too, but the animation and the way that he moves, I think really makes up for it, you know? And I think that's kind of his point, is that he's, well, I don't think I would change much. I actually really like the flat foot here and the little back legs. All of this I think is great. The head is the only thing I would redesign a little bit. But I love him. Do you count the wings as legs? No, they're wings. All right, we're going to block out the wings really quick here. And I saw Paint, you sent me a message about this. I do have an old video lesson that shows you how to do it, or you can just watch now. Essentially, all I do is I use my curved tube brush and I draw out my shape. Something kind of like that. We're gonna just do one wing at a time. I have no real reason for that other than I think it's the gizmo behaves better. I try to get the wing bone joints making the most sense. And I always, if there's ever like a hook or a curl on the end, I like to make it a separate piece. It just makes it a little easier to deal with down the road. All right, there we go. And then I look at how many joints there are. Yeah. So this is the top piece that I just did, but there's also this arm that comes down. So this is kind of a confusing one. I'll just see how I end up liking it. But anyway, I use curved tube to get that rough shape in. Yeah, I don't like this piece here. And then I use quad fill to just draw the shape. Let me go ahead and grab that brush for you because it's really cool. Where is it? Curve, quad fill. There it is. I think I have it docked. Anyway, and then you can literally just draw that shape out. What does it look like? Like this, and then it kind of looks scraggly like that. Anyway, oh, I didn't want to do it at all. That's fine. So that's still the curved quad fill. It worked good enough, and then you can clean that shape up using a knife lasso. If it doesn't want to work with you at all, you probably have something masked like I do right here, and then you can deal with it. Anyway, I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but those are the two tools that I use. Now let's do a good job. Wings are one of those things where, similar to looking at like a hand or like a human face, when they're screwed up, you just know inherently, so don't rush them. Please take your time. All right, this arm looks really cool. When Taylor's like, do you count him as legs? And no, and I start calling them arms. I guess that answers your question. All right, I'm gonna shape this hook here because I do think that's an interesting shape. I have another reference for the wing. I'm gonna go ahead and grab that. There it is. Yeah, I like this wing reference I have here a lot better than the one that's here. So let me go ahead and screenshot that and share it with y'all. I just think it looks cooler. Can I do 2 pins? I can. Oh, I love this little app thing. Cool, amazing. Now I got 2 up here. So I'm gonna go more based on this one instead. I just think it looks better. Okay. I'm deleting all these sections just because I didn't like them. All right, so there's this bone here, and then it comes up, and then when you look at this wing, let me make it really big so you guys can see it. It's just a hand. Do you guys see it? Do you see the hand? Let me put my hand sideways. Why am I hurting myself? I can use my other hand. Duh. Anyway, so this top, my thumb here is this point. Does that make sense? Thumb is this, and then all these fingers that come out of it. And then this bone you have right here lines up with this bone right here. Just worth knowing. It really helps simplify the whole thing, and it makes it's what I'm talking about earlier, where like when it's wrong, like you can just tell it's wrong. So yes, we're gonna have that initial bone right here. I'm gonna hit split mouse points every single time after the fact, and then we have this one right here that comes out into that thumb piece. And then last but not least, we have all these like flaring out pieces. I'm just gonna make one and then probably just copy. No, I'm not gonna do that. And again, I'm approaching this the same way I approached blocking out the dragon Minotaur here. I'm just adding shapes that I think are missing. I don't really care if the proportions are that right. If they are more accurate, great, those are bonus points. How do you taper your curve tube? Go to stroke, curve functions, sorry, curve modifiers, make sure size is highlighted, and then this little graph is negative. You can click and drag to make the graph do whatever you want. Great question, because that is a cool technique I use all of the time. And I know I mention it a lot on stream, but I don't expect you guys to remember things the first time I do it, or even the 20th time that I do it. If y'all could watch me sculpt and remember how I did things the first time, pretty sure that would make you a genius. Like, I started crocheting again, right? And I have this little dude, and there's a color change from blue to white. I still had to look up how to do a color change, which I was frustrated at first because I did a bumblebee where it literally goes yellow, black, yellow, black. So I had lots of practice doing color changes, and I still forgot. So like, that's not a big deal. Always ask questions. Feel free to repeat asking questions. If you don't have to ask questions on how to do things, even though you've already learned them once, that kind of makes you a genius. So good for you. But for the rest of us, just ask again. This looks so bizarre. I'm having fun with it. All right, and then I'm gonna add in some quad fill here, but again, it's got a long way to go. Curve quad fill, and then it'd be easier in this case, I think, to just click on the inside sections. And again, I am really not concerned about how well things fit, proportions. I really just am like, is there a missing shape? Yep, fill it in. Is there a missing shape? Yes, fill it in. I think this is something I don't stress enough on stream, and then my students get really confused. And I can see why. You guys are just literally trying to do too much. Anytime I can make something into a horse training analogy, you guys know I do. When you're training a horse or breaking a horse to ride, you don't just teach them everything at once. You literally train them like how to move forward and how to stop. Just a gas pedal, gas and brake. You don't steer them at all in the beginning, because steering and moving are two separate things. So try to think of that as the same way. Needless to say, that's why you want, if you're breaking a horse, you're ideally in like a safe arena that's fenced. But anyway, same kind of thing with this. We're not worried about shape, color, form, proportion all at once. You can only focus on one thing at a time. So I'm just focusing on components. I'm not even really kind of shape, but not proportion to other things, because that's already too much. And again, as you do this more, you'll get faster and more intuitive, and your original shapes will get closer to what they're actually going to end up being. And that's great. But in the beginning especially, just focus on one thing. And to be perfectly philosophical with you guys, that actually applies to a lot more than just sculpting. This looks like a butterfly wing. I think it looks cool, even if it doesn't totally make sense. I'm keeping it. There we go. Okay, I have wings. Is there stuff wrong with them? Oh yeah, but they're there. There is a wing. I really love that I have such a consistent audience, and what I'm trying to say is my peasants are the best. And I love that you guys, even if you're not sure how this is gonna work out, you know that it will. And that's really fun for me. When I first started streaming, it used to stress me out because I'm like, no, wait, it's gonna look cool, I promise. Just blah, blah, blah. And now I'm like, if you don't have the patience or to check back in like an hour, it's your loss. It's gonna look so freaking cool in about 2 hours. It's also just good practice. I learned the most because I taught myself how to sculpt from watching, you know, people stream and do it in real time. And I've been so grateful that people do that, and that's partly why I like to do it now. So hopefully, by watching me, you can get patience with yourself. Because if you don't have the patience to literally just watch me do it and you're not even doing it, you're probably not going to be very kind to yourself, let's be real. So it's like practice. And y'all are always super nice to me, so maybe you can try that for yourself, you know? Just a thought. Something crazy. Alright, so we have, I think all of the pieces are here. He has a tail, he has legs. I'm looking at this. So the next thing I'm going to do is just block out some color, and then we're going to get into those proportions and how this looks. We are still low poly time. Because I like the color scheme here. I'm not going to go as dark, otherwise y'all are going to have a really hard time seeing it. So we're going to go on a lighter but desaturated color scheme. That's probably good enough. And then I'll grab this inside webbing here. So whenever you see, like if you do like Command Shift click and it's grabbing pieces like this, I don't know why, but it does this when you change your like select brush. I don't know why. So if it's being obnoxious, to click your brush palette, B, and then T, and then find trim rectangle. When I go back to trim rectangle, I find that it works again, see? I don't know why. If you have a solution to that other than just changing your default brush back, let me know, because I find it annoying. All right, we're gonna go with a lighter color here. And we're just gonna do something two-tone to start. I am not great with color, so I like to keep it simple. We got 2 different colors here. I think it'd be cool if that was different. It is a blobby dragon cow. It's kind of precious. Wendeller says, and quoting someone, I heard practice makes perfect, but then I heard nobody's perfect. So I stopped practicing. Stephen Wright. That's like a really terrible, funny attitude. Oh, goodness. All right, back legs. I had like a super philosophical conversation with my husband sometime recent. Anyway, it doesn't matter when. And we were talking about like my students and not just that, but people like, long story short, we were trying to answer the question like, why are you, you know, figurative you, so pressed about being good at things? And if it's your job or your profession, more good equals more money. So I guess that's an argument there. But if you're just like a hobbyist, why do you care so much? Because the actual process and like the actual sculpting and moving shapes around, like it's really fun, you know? I don't think people give themselves enough of a license to be bad at their hobbies, which is sad because that's the only way to be good at them, is to be bad at them for a long time. And then even then, when you're good at them, I don't know, like, do you guys get like the question I'm trying to ask here? I think being good at your hobbies is like beyond overrated, and I'm not even trying to just be like cute about it. I'm serious. If it's not your job, who cares? You're like, well, I maybe want to make it my job one day. My answer to that is like, well, okay, then it's not your hobby, you know? And if you're like, well, maybe if one day I get good enough to where it won't be my hobby anymore, I'm like, you're already shooting yourself in the foot with that mentality though. Because, you know, our brains are not that easy to trick. It either knows it's in the hobby bucket or the professional bucket, you know? So if you think, well, I'm just gonna treat it as a hobby, but if I could solve all my financial problems and making it a job, that'd be great. Your brain has already put it in the professional bucket. You have killed the fun right away, you know? I don't know. like you see like kids like playing with like finger paints or a sketchbook or whatever, they are having the best freaking time. And it sucks. It's terrible, but they're having a great time, you know? Sometimes I think it feels really good when you're sketching something and someone comes over and, well, that actually annoys me. But even then they're like, wow, that looks really good. And like, you can't help it. Like your little lizard brain is like, you know, you get praise and you're like, that feels good. I just encourage you to care less. Please be worse at your hobbies. Please be so much worse at your hobbies. You'll be happier, I think. Foxy says, Mia, but I care more about enjoying and being good at my hobbies than my job. That's what I'm saying. Why is enjoying your hobbies and being good at them so interdependent? And I get, like, it feels good to be good at things because, I don't know, external people think it looks cool, but the actual, like, what you are doing is the same. You know what I mean? That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah. Foxy, I'm just perfect the way I am. Love that energy for you. Empress says, literally, I'm just doing and learning with a bit of guidance. I really like the way that you're learning a lot. So right now, I have all of my pieces are here, and we're gonna start playing with the proportions. So I'm looking at this reference pretty closely and just seeing the relationship and the size between everything. So this is where I like to look at the head and then measure everything in terms of the head. So the head is about the size of my pinky nail, so I can literally put my pinky on my screen, like I say that I do, and I'll move it over and I'll start measuring stuff. There you go. That's when you see artists when they have like their pencil out and they're doing this in the distance with their eraser. They're just measuring. And I'm really not too concerned about the pose, but sometimes the pose will help you figure out where things are proportionally. Oh, I've heard giving ears. Yeah. Sounds good, Max. Thanks for tuning in. Foxy says, Mia, because if I'm a good player and DM my fellow players have a better time than if I'm an asshat. That is fair. And that's interesting. So in that case, being a DM, being good at being a DM. Yeah. And that's a tricky one. I like that. That has a good motivation. It is almost spooky season. I'm so excited. Taylor says, Mia, I get what you're saying. It's sad how much perfectionism has wreaked havoc on the artist community. In my opinion, what's good should not be the product, but the process and the direction of thought. Exactly. Pursuing and approaching what's in your imagination. And that's the real skill, you know? And like people get really stressed about like AI and it has like this really shiny output. I'm like, but it's the original concept and the original creation that's the most important part. So being able to ideate and come up with something interesting is more valuable than perfecting, you know, realistic fur. I mean, it's a tool to make your imagination, your concept read better, but what's most important is that initial concept. Yeah, exactly. Emperor says, are you doing that using that pose mesh option? Yes. So go to Z plugin, transpose master, T pose mesh. It took all my subtools and put them into just one, and I have all my polygroups still. So what's nice about this is I can really easily adjust the proportions by masking and by moving things around and that kind of stuff. Yeah. I like that. Paint says, Mia, my motivation for 3D sculpting is to level up my mini painting, but also sharing my idea with people. You know, it's not surprising to me that my students that have been the most successful and have produced the most work and have worked the hardest and the longest amount of time have the best answers in the chat. Just saying. Foxy says, Mia, so what are we defining as good at hobby? External validation or self-fulfillment or satisfaction? Right. No, it's a great question. I think it's, if you don't have an answer to that, not that you don't, that's where people get lost because it becomes a blend of the three that becomes really impossible to handle. Obviously, the best answer there is self-satisfaction, right? Of being like, okay, I'm proud of what I did here. But even then, that can be tricky if you're a jerk to yourself, as a lot of artists are. All right, so I'm looking at the head here and it's quite tall. So I'm again using my pinky, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it looks like it's 4 heads tall. Again, I am happy to change this design however I see fit. I am going to start moving the pieces around so I can further refine these proportions. Again, so now that I have all the pieces in shape, I can just look at like this arm shape and it kind of looks like this rounded triangle blob thing. And I'm like, okay, now I shall make this a rounded triangle blob shape thing. Looking at the forearm, it's about the same thing. So mine is just a cylinder. This is a rounded triangle. So I'm gonna make it a rounded triangle. I hope it never feels like I'm getting like too like cutesy and simple. Or I'm like, yeah, you just do this and do this. It's so easy. It's not that I think it's easy. It's just that the literal process of what I'm thinking is actually quite simple. And I think demystifying it as much as possible is what gets new people into the hobby and realizing, oh, I can make art. I can do that. It makes me sad every time I hear someone be like, oh, I don't have an artistic bone in my body. I could never do that. I would love if I could. Some people just have no interest, and that's totally fine. But there's a lot more people out there that are like, oh, I'd love if I could do that, but I just can't. And I'm like, that's not true, though. So, yeah. Man, he's got that really, like, snatched little waist, which is not quite what I want here. And then now I'm looking at my reference of a gorilla and starting to bring that shape in. I'm gonna turn off perspective. Emperor says, if I talk about my motivation, I'll start crying. But it boils down to, I'll do it myself. I don't care how long it takes. Someone out there needs this like I do. Oh, that's very sweet, actually. Head pats for Empress, indeed. Having a strong motivation that's also emotional is really common. Very relatable. The bull has handles. He sure does. So do you guys see how, because I had all the components here already, like I had the torso piece, I had all these leg pieces, it was really easy for me to like move stuff around and refine it to look a lot more like my concept. I think this is where, again, a lot of my students get very discouraged. They're like, this looks ridiculous. And I'm like, it has to. You have to find your shapes first. And this is a really tricky reference to work from too, because we're missing so much information. Like different side views. I had someone ask recently, like, how do you recreate something in 3D when you only have one reference? And the answer is you should never be working from one reference. And that's why I have a bunch of animal references on the side here for me to work with. I love the idea of these wings right here, pretty much being like an extension of his lat muscles. Starting to get a much more interesting silhouette here. Alright, I definitely think this was an improvement. But we're going to keep on doing stuff here really quick. Because he is still really stubby, really short. I'm gonna get the feet a little bit more flat. I'm gonna use my mask pen brush to kind of see, make sure the feet are somewhat on the same level. I give him hooves right here. He is gonna have more like dragon feet. So a gorilla is pretty straight and like stocky on both sides. I'm thinking maybe that wasn't the best reference then, because the shape of this is more like, well, a bull. He's so downward sloped too. And this is something too where I'm telling my students, like when you're grabbing a reference or something that you want to be inspired to sculpt, be very careful, because this looks okay in 2D, but the more that you study it in 3D, the more you're like, this doesn't make any sense. And that happens a lot. And that's okay. So you'll see me move stuff around and kind of decide, okay, we are going to change his leg shape here and the body and the flow. I do like that downward sloping concept, so I'm going to keep that. He's missing a bone right there. I'm also going to widen the chest. Can you guys kind of see it starting to come together a little bit? I'm curious if anyone can see that yet. Maybe the feet are hooves, but more like large talons. Nah, I'm gonna do dragon feet. I got references, I got a plan. I do think a hoof cross thing could be a cool idea, of course. There we go, we're getting kind of more of that shape. Stretch that head to be a little longer, and then let's go ahead and move that farther out. I think I'm gonna give him a much longer neck than in the reference. Again, it's just a concept reference. I can actually do whatever I want with it, which is super fun. Sorry, I love my job so much. People come to me with concepts and things they want sculpted so they can 3D print them for their game, but then it's up to me. I can do whatever I want with it, which I love. It's pretty awesome. All right, we have a more interesting shape here. Something that I think is workable. So we're going to move it back out of Transpose Master and keep on going. Bunny says, if companies are allowed to say Christmas starts in September, we're allowed to say Halloween starts at the end of August. Absolutely. Have I ever made a pinup Minotaur? What do you think? No, but that is awesome. There we go. All right, so we've made some good progress here. I'm gonna go ahead and throw on a base. This needs to be something elliptical, even though it's a player character. I don't know about that. I think it needs to be elliptical. Again, whenever it sounds like as a player character, I like for it to be a circle 25mm base, but this is so tricky and weird. Let's see what this one is. Oh, that's a really old base. Ew, I do not like that. Now go ahead and delete that one and go to this desert base instead. There we go. Something kind of like this. And then depending, I might make the pose a little bit tighter so that way it actually all fits on here, but it is what it is. I'm gonna go to dots, drag rectangle, and then get some more color variation in here. I like using backface masks to get kind of like this built-in ambient occlusion effect. There we go. And it's also time to adjust my lighting just a touch. I like getting something a bit more dramatic. Maybe I can put this over here. Oh yeah, I don't even have 2 lights in my scene. Ugh, blasphemy. I always like having 2 lights. I just think it's a little easier to see. The way you set that up is go to light. I like to push one off kind of to the side. It's kind of like my dramatic light here. And then have another one that's usually a warm color, which will affect your poly paint. But again, the poly paint I'm doing here does not matter. It's just for me. It's just for fun. It won't affect the 3D print at all. Why is paint dancing? I like it. Oh, because of Halloween time. Yes. So usually I have, yeah, one light that's kind of off to the side at the top here, and then another one that is pretty much dead on. There we go. All right, we have our rough shapes here. We'll do a little stamp up here of the side view and the front view. And this is where, like, in my mind, this is like where the really fun stuff happens. So I can ignore all of this noise, all of the different blobs I have going on. And now I pick one shape to start to really push and kind of dial in. So that's gonna be the head, because that's where a lot of the attention is drawn. And cows are cool. All right, so I have a reference for that. I'm going to hide everything, and my favorite way to do this is to click on a new number. So right now it says V1, that's a visibility set. And right now, everything is visible. But I wanna have a visibility set where I'm just working on the head. So I'm gonna click on V2, and I'm gonna hide everything except for the head, neck, and the horns. So now I can go back and forth between seeing everything and seeing just the head really quickly by using visibility sets. You got a bunch of them, you got 8, so make use of them. All right, now the step that we're gonna do here is pretty much taking, oh, he doesn't have ears. I did forget a main shape, that's okay. What we're gonna do here is kind of like going back through the process we just did, which is step 1. What shapes do we need? We need a head, we need horns, we need an ear. So let's go ahead and do that first. To add the ears, I'm just gonna use curve tube, click and drag, split mask points, and move them around to look a little bit more ear-shaped. All right, that's pretty much all the components. Oh, and eyeballs. I'm thinking of all the pieces that I need that are gonna be unique subtools. If I'm making something that's a bit scarier or spookier, I like the eyes to be on the small side. And then I might go ahead and just make this like a little eyeball mesh right from the get-go. So to do that, to create eyelids, I'm gonna duplicate this sphere and I'm gonna cut it in half. And this is gonna become our top and our lower eyelid. Now paint's on fire. Don't mind my peasants, just doing peasanty things. And zero mesh by half a few times to get them nice and cleaned up. I feel like I'm really channeling my inner like chill Bob Ross today. Like just happy little trees. Just a few simple release strokes, and I get you, none of it's simple, all of it's difficult, I'm aware. But I'm trying to break it down in a way that's hopefully a little easier. And paint is now dead. Paint is going through all the cycles of life over here. All right, so we have our lower eyelid, our upper eyelid. See how much structure that gives us here and so much control. Nice little crisp edge. Awesome. And I can go ahead and merge all of these down. Though I'm gonna give him a lighter eye color just so it's easier to see. Oh, not delete hidden. I'll rename this eye. I'm actually naming a subtool, guys. Oh my god. I never do that. Maybe I should name these. Maybe I should have some good practices to show my students. There you go. And neck. All right, sweet. I actually named everything for once. All right, sweet. So we have all the components that we're going to need, and now we have lots of things that we need to fix, right? Because it looks cow-ish, but there's lots of problems. Okay. First things first, we are now moving into secondary shapes, and this is where most people just panic. Don't panic. It's just a game of spot the difference, okay? So let me go ahead and move this reference of the cow onto the screen so you guys can see what I'm seeing and the way that I'm gonna break it down. Here we go. All right. You just look at this and you're like, what's different? I gave him this ridiculously snatched draw line I didn't need to. So secondary shapes, it's just anything that's going to build up on the primary. So the primary shape here is like, look, we got like a big old trapezoid triangle thing here. We got some tubes for the horns and then a big old cylinder for the neck, okay? Secondary shapes, what refines that? What's a little more complicated? Well, the ears are obviously a little hollowed out. He has nostrils. He has this big fat fold or whatever that is on top of his eye. So let's add those in. Panic at the Disco. You know, I never listened to them a ton, but I liked what I did here. Can we make this smaller, please? There we go. Awesome. So you can kind of see how I'm going to build this up. Again, it can be as simple or as difficult as you want it to be. And honestly, if that's not a metaphor for life, I don't know what is. All right, so I'm looking at the neck here and I'm like, oh my goodness, I made him so skinny for no reason. So we're gonna add some material to his neck. Keeping it really low res because I'm not doing skin folds, I'm just trying to add volume. And then next is gonna be his head. I'm gonna use the move brush for this instead of clay. And we're gonna kind of just fix this because my goodness, I made him look so snatched for no reason. You can kind of see the polys are getting really stretched here, so I'll Dynamesh so it's a little denser, and that will allow me to add more material. Here we go. Awesome. We're gonna add that big ol' eye ridge I was talking about. And then we're gonna carve out those little nostrils. I'm just gonna use the move brush, hold down Option, and click and drag, and you'll see that it gets all pushed in there. Here we go. He does have a mouth in there somewhere, so I'm gonna use my damp sander brush to kind of strike out wherever that line would be. You'll see how this is looking really pixelated? That's around the point where I'm like, okay, I need more resolution. So if I have an even spread of polys, now I'll subdivide. There's our first subdivision level. And now I should have just barely enough to add in this mouth. And I really want it to be low on here and simple. Sweet. I'm gonna push in this eye socket even more, and now I'm gonna use my move brush to kind of pull these forms together a bit more. So why do I use my move brush versus clay versus whatever? It just depends what I'm trying to do. If I'm moving a lot of material at once, I'll use the move brush. Otherwise, I usually use clay or standard. So we have another large mass under his eye, so I'm gonna add that in because I don't have it. Same right here, there's a lot of volume across the nose and then around the horns. And then now I should start looking at the placement of like the eye to the nose versus the eye to the horn. So the horns in this reference kind of just stick straight up. I really don't think that's very realistic or a thing. So I'm gonna make them a bit more proper, which is how they're oriented here. And cows look like, or bulls look like, there's all kinds of variations. I'm just picking a variation that I like. I'm also going to change the color here to kind of like a more palish tan. There we go. Also going to do Ziri mesh in half, just to give it a bit of a cleaner look. And then from the top view, make sure it actually sits in the skull. This shape is getting a little overcomplicated and a little overworked with how much it's kind of like, see how it's like a little lumpy? You can fix that by doing polish by features and then combine that with zero mesh by half. But honestly, if it fights me enough, I'll just redo the curve with the curve 2 brush because it doesn't take any time. Then next, we're missing that taper. So the horns are largest at the base and then they get smaller towards the top. You guys see what I mean? With just like, it's literally just a big game to spot the difference. There we go. We're actually looking a lot more similar, aren't we? And the next thing is, I can tell that the snout on mine is not quite long enough. So I'll mask just the snout and I'll make it a little longer. Same with right here. There's like this line of fat that kind of comes all the way down. So there's two options you have here. You can use the head and pull all that mass down, or you can take the neck mesh and pull that up underneath. I kind of go back and forth between which one that I like to do. In this specific instance, I think when I'm posing, I would like to have the head a little bit more separate. So I'm going to use the body, like the neck mesh, to connect underneath instead. That's one of those instances where there's not really a wrong or a right answer. I just think it'd be easier to, that's how I see it. Like this flap right here, that's not the head, that's the neck. You can even see like where the bone would be in the head right here. So I want to keep that separate so I can keep the line there. I lost a train of thought because Duke's comment was so funny. Duke says, I'm not gonna lie, the reference photo makes me want some smoked brisket. That sounds so good. Alright, I'm gonna use my damn standard brush now to kind of build up some lines and some creases here of some forms that I know we're missing. This is kind of like just construction lines is what I like to call it. Just like, okay, there's a shape here, there's a shape here. Well, this looks a hell of a lot better than when we started, doesn't it? It can be that simple. I have a lot of students that are watching right now, so y'all especially. You have any questions? Anyone panicking? Are we panicking? Are we doing good? No panic. And if panic, ask questions. The more you practice like big forms, small forms, you know, start big, get smaller, you will be able to do this. Because the primary, secondary, tertiary technique, you know, way of thinking applies to literally everything. Even the nostril you could break down like that. And that's how I know to add like this volume that kind of bubbles up on the very, very edge of the nostril. Okay. Awesome, I think that's an improvement. Let's go back to our initial visibility set and you can kind of see this is how it's gonna go from looking like nothing to looking really cool, because I just isolate these pieces and then build up around it, you know? But I get you that when you're at this point and you're like, oh wow, this looks like nothing. That's part of it, you know? You have to trust the process. Or just quit, I guess, that's fine too. Oh, hey, I know you. Ezekiel Gloria. Hello, hello. Always good to see a familiar face. Thank you, thank you. I need to get you and Rudy in here at the same time. It's been a bit since we've seen Rudy. But yeah, appreciate you tuning in. We're making a half dragon Minotaur. I don't know. It's tricky. This is a reference I was given and then I'm kind of like building off of that. It's gonna be someone's player character. It looks more like a final boss, but yeah, my job is just to make it. I don't have to be a DM that has to deal with how this would work in the game. All right, so we have the head looking better, obviously much better than where we started. Oh, here, that's actually really good side by side. So this is like our really early kind of block out. We're not worried about proportion or color or anything like that, just one thing at a time. And we go from this to this. And it really can just be as simple as a game of spot the difference. Honestly, even just now, me looking at this to this, I can already see more differences. But you want to practice moving on too. If you just get stuck in the same spot the whole time, you're probably going to burn out. I've been doing this for almost 7 years now, so I really don't get that too discouraged. For me, the whole process is fun, but especially if you're just learning, it can be very, very frustrating because you don't trust yourself yet to actually end up with something cool. I know it's going to look awesome in a couple hours, so I don't have to really worry about that anymore. You know, it's kind of weird to say, but sometimes I do miss like early sculpting where I would just be totally panicked of like, can I do this request? Am I going to be able to figure this out? You know? I don't know. It's not that I miss the stress of it. I don't know, it makes me nostalgic. That's what I'm trying to say. Right now I'm adding a little bit more volume to the neck, a little bit more visual interest because I'm going to use these same like shapes here and wrinkles throughout the entire body. So it's the same like you'll establish like a color palette for something when you're painting. Instead now I'm establishing like a shape palette that's going to be a texture that will be used throughout the entire model. And again, we just want to get the basic shapes here. Let it be low poly, let it be a little ugly. This is the way. There we go. Foxy says, Mia, if you want the panic again, I can place another weird request. Oh my god, the splendor almost ended me, but it worked out. It really worked out. All right. But no, I'm good. Thanks, Foxy. Such a generous offer. All right, we are coming up at the end of our Tavern Keeper's craft here. So it's been about an hour 20. I am gonna take a short break, actually, get some water, grab a snack, and then I'll be back. Again, it's gonna be like not even 5 minutes, so yeah. If you guys have questions in that time though, feel free to ask and I'll answer them when I come back. Catch you in a second. Hello and welcome back. Alright, it is happy hour, so I'm going to start reviewing student work. We got 3 students to review today, so let's hop to it. I'm going to start off with Paint, because I'm pretty sure you were here, then Empress, and then Max. Okay, first off we have Paint. Paint is working on a new project, and it has a really lovely concept. Let me scroll up here and find it. This is what they're working on. They got permission from the artist, which is very sweet of them, to then make their own 3D model of it. And then Paint has asked me, hey, can you look at the blocking and give me any notes? I love the chicken wing at the moment. Alright, and this is the block that we have as of right now. There's not really a whole lot to review here. There is a body, and there are some wings. The face is going to cause problems for you later on because you have smoothed it so much by subdividing, I think. It looks like you're taking the split objects method here, which I used this too when I was a beginner and it helped me out. So whatever works best for you. There's not really a whole lot for me to review here though. It looks like you have the like muscle shape here. It's much thicker than what is in your reference. So in your reference, these are almost kind of like arms. And you can actually tell they're only slightly wider than the width of the arm. Versus what you have here, not that one, here. It's more like triple, like 1, 2, 3. You can almost fit 3 arms right there. So again, you're so early. I would just keep on going. I do like that you've moved the ears. That is a bit more accurate to the reference here. And then it's got that really unique antler shape. Again, you're super, super early. Just keep going. Keep going. And don't be so worried about proportions. Kind of take it similar to how I'm approaching this cow Minotaur dragon thing, which is just get all the pieces down as simple and as quickly as possible, and then worry about like refining the shape and proportion. Up next we have Empress. Empress says, here is my second magical staff attempt. I love how this one came out. I also seem to have a problem following things one-to-one, but maybe that's my special skill. I'm kind of the same way. The gem was added because otherwise it looked bare and plain. I was thinking of going further and adding dangly bits, but it's okay as is, I think. Oh heck yeah, this is beautiful. I really feel like you've taken this wood technique that I've shown you and made it even better than... I think that's really good. That's the noise modifier, isn't it? Yeah, that's gorgeous. I love this. I love everything about this. One thing I'll say is that it's a little plainer when you look at it from the side view here. Let me move this over. Like if that's what you want, that's totally fine. I would push the branches a little bit, so from the side view, it looked a little more interesting, a little more like this, a little more orb-like, as opposed to just completely flat, more like this. But again, that's a personal preference thing. You definitely succeeded in the reference that you had found. I like it. Also, not doing one-to-one is a strength in this case. I really think so. Well, awesome. Would you like to keep making stabs? I feel like you're learning a lot here. Or do you want something new? At this point, my main focus for you, Empress, is getting practice, getting through that primary, secondary, tertiary shape as many times as possible through these like mini projects where you focus on just like one asset, whether it's a staff or a pouch or a hairstyle or whatnot. But yes. You're at that point though. By the way, I don't know if I told you enough, but I love these. These are so funny and so cute and small. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I don't think I responded to them. I do love them though. Oh goodness. It looks like you're doing a pretty darn good job of just creating and doing stuff. I'll take the next assignment, but I'll probably make more on this side. Good. I love to see it. Love to see it. Let me see what else I got for you. It might be time for you to do the potion assignment again, but upgraded. Because I know you've already done this. Yeah, way back. This is one of the first assignments I had you do. What is that, in May? Yeah, we're going to revisit the potion assignment, and I want you to push it similar to how like Grimnir push it. Do you need, let me know if you need like a reminder of what I'm talking about when I say like push it. Because it's exactly what you did with the staff, where like it doesn't look anything like the staff that I made, and I love that. But you can use this assignment here as a guide of how to construct things. But I don't want simple test tubes. I really want an interesting, fun, unique shape to you. Let me grab Grimnir's really quick, and even John's. Here we go. Like this is what Grimnir did. This is the assignment. But then this is what they took from that. And you kind of have a little bit of a head start here, Empress, because you've seen me review John's and Grimnir's, and you've seen what I liked and what I didn't like about it. So you have a little bit of a head start there, I think. Yeah, because let's see, for him, he did this instead, which again is cool, but I also, there's more you can do. Push it, you say. Headed right for the cliff. A reminder never hurts. Sounds good. Oh my god, you crack me up. But yeah, something more along, you can do this too as a warm-up, like do it really boring and simple first, or you can even use this as a component to this little potion rack that you do. But here are the two references I have for you from previous student work. Very good. And next up is Max. Oh heck yeah, I said quick create bad to get into the swing of things. Oh, I love it. It's actually quite cute. I'm saying fantastic practice to get back in the swing of things. Awesome. Anytime, guys, you are always welcome to do a create bad assignment just to get back into the swing of things. I don't know if any of you guys have ever gone to like a yoga session that's actually like led like in a classroom setting, but it's the same kind of thing. Like at any point, if a pose is too hard or it's just you're feeling exhausted, you can take a child's pose and just relax anytime. This is the same kind of thing. You can do a create bad anytime to get back into the swing of things. The worst thing you can do is not create at all. So if you're just doing anything or even just thinking about it, that's great. All right, awesome. We have quite a few people, quite a few. There we go. There are a lot of people watching. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me while I work and I school. Happy Hour is dedicated for my students. If you're interested in joining my mentorship program, I obviously highly recommend it. There's a lot of students that are in the chat you can ask questions to, or myself. I have the link in the YouTube chat right now. It's $1 a day, and it is one-on-one mentorship. So whatever your goals are, that's what I focus on to get you there. It's hosted through like a bunch of tiny assignments I give you. It's not like learn anatomy. It's like, no, we're going to learn how to navigate ZBrush, how to open a file, that kind of stuff. So beginners are very welcome. Excuse me. All right, without further ado, is any other, like, even if you're not paying and in the mentorship program, this during happy hour is when I focus on answering questions. So especially now, if you're like, what is happening? How do I sculpt? What is this for? What is this software? Now is the time to ask. No questions are too basic, okay? The only question that I love teasing people and giving them a hard time over is how to make money with art, because it's coming from people who don't even create consistently. And I'm like, what? Sell what? Oh, goodness. This stream is feeling so quick. So we are an hour and a half in and we have done a lot of work. My goodness. We have this, isn't it funny how like the block out, this nonsense turns into like this refined shape? You gotta trust the process, babes. You have to, or drown. That's it. That's your only option. Oh, goodness. Foxy. Also from me. Also from you. All right, I'm going to create a poll right now because I don't normally do double Tavern Keeper's Craft, so let me figure this out really quick. All right, peasants pick. And it's going to be, do you guys want another Tavern Keeper's Craft? That's on this Minotaur bowl. Minotaur bowl, Minotaur dragon. There we go. Or something new. Okay, I have that poll live right now. Again, it's peasant pick. I can do another 1.5 hours on the Minotaur dragon, or I can start something brand new. Up to you guys. I'm happy with whatever. We only have an hour put into this so far. Again, we started with this sphere. We went into this little block out here, just getting these shapes down, and I just started refining and getting into like this bowl head here. So far, we have 100% of the vote for another 1.5 hours on the Minotaur dragon. 7 people have already said that. Wow, you guys are all unanimous. I'm glad. I'm glad that it's fun to watch and like it's going so... Okay, good. That makes me really happy. Because every now and then I'm like, does this look like nothing? No, it looks like something fantastic. Well, sweet. I guess I'm gonna leave the poll open for another minute, but it looks like it's pretty unanimous. You guys are digging the Minotaur dragon. Aloha said, the forms are so strong and so fast now when you do models. Thank you so much. Having to narrate as I sculpt for a live stream has been very, very helpful. So here's something you guys probably don't know about. So in October of this year will mark 1 year since I started streaming regularly. Up until about 2 months ago, I would say. Very recent. When I like tell you guys what I'm doing and I'm like, okay, yeah, there's a form right here and like there's fat or a bone or whatever. I just feel like I'm making it up. I had like the worst imposter syndrome where I'm like, I'm just saying shit like, and it sounds like I know what I'm doing, but like I didn't have the confidence behind it to like. And now I'm like, oh my god, all that stuff I was saying and it felt like I was pretending is totally legit. It is in fact real. When they say fake it till you make it, yeah. Because you're faking it, you might actually be doing the right thing. And just because your brain is like, or whatever brains do, you just gotta ignore it. You just gotta do the thing. Okay? Okay, oh yeah, October 21st is my 1 year anniversary. Thank you, Aloha. I like it. Okay, pretty much everyone voted. I think we had one person vote for something new, and that was it. So, sorry, you're the minority peasant. You have been overruled. But thank you for voting, honestly. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and end that poll, and let's keep cooking, okay? Awesome. We're going back in time. Welcome to the Tavern Keeper's Craft. All right, let's get going. I'm gonna kind of disengage from the chat a little bit, but if you need me, you guys know how to get my attention. Either join the Discord and yell at me there, or type at M3DM, little, what is it called? It's not an ampersand. The A in the circle, the at, whatever. M3DM, and I'll tag it in orange so it's a little easier for me to see. I might still miss you, and if I do, just comment again. Okay. So here is the next stage. Again, you have to just... I'm just giggling so much because this is the kind of shit that I know drives people crazy. Where they're like trying to learn how to sculpt, and somehow it goes from like this blob to like this. And I showed you how to do it in real time. It's just the same process again of big forms to smaller forms to smaller forms. But I understand that it can look like nonsense. I'm not even saying this looks that incredible, but compared to the rest of it, it does look quite incredible. All right, we're gonna move on to the neck. We're just gonna keep building straight out. And to do that, I am going to grab a reference of a gorilla while still keeping the thought of like a cow or a bull very to the forefront. So I'm gonna hide the wings so they're just not in the way. And the way that I'm gonna fuse this like gorilla cow gargoyle sort of thing is one of the key features about like cows and bulls is they have this kind of like little strip of fat. It's kind of like the same thing that goes under the chin. I don't know if it's fat or skin. I don't know what it is. There's volume. There's something that kind of runs down their chest right here. Yeah, paint. I knew you were gonna put this on here. Art books. We have detailed instructions on how to become professional artists. Also art books. Step 1. Step 2. Hey, at least I'm doing it in real time. I feel like that helps. That's worth something. But yeah, just step 1, step 2. Goodness. Anyway, so I have this torso piece here. I could go a bit farther and see how I have like the pelvis and the chest is like 2 different pieces. I could potentially do a third and have like a belly segment. I don't think I need it, so I'm not going to keep it or add another one. All right, I'm pretty happy with this shape overall. I'm gonna make it a little bit more wide in the front. I'm also gonna click mirror and weld because I think I lost some of that symmetry. All right, and now I'm going to subdivide because it's really pixelated and I can't really add a whole lot of details right now. So what I'm looking for is that I have kind of like a even smattering of polygons. It's a little, see how it's a lot denser right here than right here? When I subdivide, it's going to be harder to add details here than here. And I don't like that. I really want to be a bit more even than that. So I'm going to Dynamesh one more time and increase resolution. There we go, to like this blob. And then from here, I will subdivide a few times. Okay? Oh, here we go, someone new. Hello, Michael. Does the Discord have recommendations or thoughts on various input devices? I'm looking for a gift for the kiddo. Oh, awesome. Yeah, you're more than welcome to join Discord and ask that. I can also just tell you outright. I highly recommend the Wacom Intuos. Is a really, really good one, starting one. There we go. I wrote it out in there just so you can, because Intuos isn't a very intuitive word to spell. But that's been a really good standard for people to get into, and it's a really good bang for buck. You can get other brands like Huon and stuff, but really quick about tablets. These ones do not have a screen. So you use your pen and you draw on this brick, but you look at another device. Versus what I'm working on right now, my tablet does have a screen on it. These are much more expensive. And if you want one with a display tablet, you're looking at about $200 to $300 at least. And in that case, I recommend Huon or XP pen. So yeah. Yeah, the Huon Canvas is a fantastic one. If you're getting it for your kid and your kid is, I don't know, younger than the age of 13, you're probably best off getting them into us and just seeing if they like it. But you know your kid better than I do. And if your kid just one of those like very like, they're gonna like be diligent and they're gonna like play with it and try it out, maybe consider a display tablet. I was that kind of kid. I took my gifts very seriously as a kid. Again, my dad got me a 3D printer and now this is my full-time job. So it just depends. Right now I'm adding more volume to the chest. And kind of just getting these general wrinkle shapes. Yeah. Michael says thanks. He's more interested in designing prosthetics and mechanical devices, but I'm going to abuse him to make me D&D minis. Sorry, the more I read that, the funnier it got. Also, that's really funny you say that because I have my degree in mechanical engineering, and the reason why I was interested in that is because I wanted to go into biomedical engineering to design prosthetics. And somehow I ended up here. So your comment is beyond on the nose and very, very funny to me because yeah, that was me. Oh, that's beautiful. All right, and we continue. So again, bowls have this kind of like little strip of skin flap, and it kind of goes all the way back through their belly. So I'm gonna add some of that volume here, just using the clay brush. And then I'm even gonna go a step farther, and I'm going to mask this out. And then just use my gizmo and drag straight down. There we go. All right, so now the chest actually looks like something. And now it's time to probably work on these arms, which will look quite ridiculous. And Michael says that's what he wants, biomedical. No kidding, feels like a small world sometimes. The only reason why I didn't go into it is because I got my degree at Fresno State University, it's in California, and it just wasn't something they offered. They offered mechanical, geomatics, civil, electrical. Wasn't there one other one? I can't remember. Anyway, and so I chose mechanical because it was the closest. There we go. Duke says, Mia, that strip of flesh is the delicious biscuit. You're killing me. I just had a bunch of grapes. This was my break snack. I didn't even eat all of it. But now I just want brisket. Grapes are great, but it's no brisket. But on a real note, Michael, that is so exciting for your son and good for them. Engineering, again, I didn't love school. I was a great student. I had a full-ride scholarship, but my attitude was terrible. I hate class and sitting and yeah. If you could just give me a book and let me do it myself and I can go into office hours, ask questions, that's how I treated college, and I was much happier doing that. But yeah, still, I'm still excited people going into engineering because I think it's the coolest. Literally just a fusion of science and math to solve problems. It's the best. I'm gonna start working on the arms now, and I'm going to split the upper arm to the forearm here. And as I work on this, I want to be careful with how defined I make the like deltoids, biceps, triceps, that kind of stuff, because if I come in here and just like carve out these shapes, you know, I'm probably gonna cover it with a bunch of fur, so I want to be careful to not make him look too naked. Like I don't want to look like a Sphinx cat, you know? Alright, that's a decent start, and now I'm going to take this and move it even farther out. There we are. Excellent. And really start shaping in these legs. And then this portion here, I kind of have a weird thing going on, because in the reference, they're kind of like bent like arms, like a gargoyle, but I'm also trying to fuse this to look kind of like the physique of a gorilla. So I'm trying to find a happy medium between the two. Once I make the dragon feet, I think it'll really start to come together. But until then, I'm kind of just figuring it out. There we are. All right, it is high time to figure out these feet. Which, as of now, I just have like a hoof-like shape, which I'm kind of torn. If I'm gonna go through the effort to sculpt this lovely dragon foot, I kind of want to just use it 4 times. However, I do think it'd be cool to have maybe the hind legs be hooves and the front be these dragon feet to really lean into that half Minotaur dragon thing. We'll see. Hey, Rodolfo's here. Hello, hello. Did I finally make it on time for a stream? Hello, everyone. Hello, hello. And you sure did. I'm streaming a little bit later today just because I slept in. That's it. Anyway, but we're working on this dragon Minotaur thing. And I've had a lot of fun kind of like just breaking down shapes. I decided to sculpt from scratch today, even though I definitely have enough pieces to kit bash this, because he kind of looks like a gargoyle, you know? Yeah, so I have references of a gorilla, dragons, and bulls. It's been an adventure. It's been fun. So yeah, I have all the base forms. We've done these here, and now I'm starting to actually refine them and just, you know, the next set of shapes. So that's what we're doing. As of now, I'm trying to figure out if I want hooves or just dragon feet. I have these references of really delicious looking dragon feet. Nice and detailed. I think that would really cement the dragon aspect here. Otherwise, it's just going to be a weird sloped bull with wings. And I kind of want the dragon aspect to be a little more clear. So yeah. Rodolfo says, looking good. Thank you. I'm very happy with it for an hour and a half or whatever it was. We took a break to answer student questions. And I took another break so I can eat grapes. And that's been my day. What have you been up to? I have not had time to join other people's stream. I want to. I've lurked yours. There was one that you did a bit ago. I was just lurking. I didn't say hi because I didn't want to like say something and you respond and I had disappeared because I was just like in and out anyway. But always fun to be rooting in the background. Okay, we're gonna sculpt some dragon feet. So again, using visibility sets, I highly recommend this, especially when you have a monster that you're creating with a lot of pieces that you're kind of like dialing in on. I have visibility set 1, I usually have everything visible, and then I start focusing on different pieces. So for visibility set 2, that's where we got this head actually looking like something. And now I'm gonna go to the 3rd set here, and we're gonna fix these feet. And by fix them, I just mean make a foot in the first place, really. All right, I have a reference up. Let me go ahead and screenshot it from y'all, so you kind of know what I'm looking at. I actually have a bunch of dragon feet up here, but I'm gonna pick just one to share on the screen. Here we go. Rodolfo says, just got back from work. Had to cancel today's stream. I was gonna say, I thought for sure you had a stream today, but I was like, I guess I was wrong. Okay. Oh goodness. And it happens. It happens. Not a big deal. Well, if I have that dragon foot here, I might as well have another one on my other monitor. All the dragon feet. Sweet. All right, so what we're gonna do here is I'm gonna center this in the scene just so it feels a little easier to work on, and I'll even have it in symmetry. All right, we're gonna work on this volume here first, and honestly, this is pretty spot on to what I was wanting. I'm gonna go ahead and flatten the bottom a touch, like a gumdrop. And now this section, which I could easily just mask and extrude, but feet kind of get away from me every now and then, so I like to use lots of subtools when I feel like I don't understand the shape. Oh, I lost the blob. Here we go. So this is going to be the leg. And then that has a kind of gentle taper to it as well. I'm a pretty firm believer and you can pretty much never have too many subtools. More subtools. I use less as I am more like confident with a shape. But as I like to joke, I don't know what anything looks like, so we use lots of subtools. Rodolfo says, I've been busy with the ZBrush Summit and some other cool stuff we're cooking for you guys. Very cool. I look forward to it. Alright, let's get some toes in here. This is a little too tapered, so I'm going to go back to my stroke menu, and we're going to soften that up just a touch. I do like that there is a taper on it though. So here's the before, here's the after. It's pretty much the same, but it's closer to the shape that I'm wanting. Oh, I forgot I still have lock on there. How many toes do we have here? 3, and then this other little like dew claw thing going on. Yeah, okay. And the dew claw should be on the inside, right? It looks like this is the outside of the foot. It's not really a dew claw though. Yeah, outside, that's fine. Alright, split mouse points, and I just want to get all of the pieces into place right now. What I'll probably end up doing is once I detail one of the toes, I'll go through and just duplicate that a bunch of times instead of redoing it. Let's kind of get these roughly positioned because they're kind of follow the curve here. I can go ahead and duplicate this and throw it on this side. I'm kind of cheating where it looks kind of like the claw's already on there, but we're not going to keep it that way. Now we're going to adjust the base shape of the foot to get more of that kind of webbed appearance almost. Another Dynamesh. Let's make sure this doesn't touch right here. Interesting. Move topological is grabbing a single point as opposed to moving this piece. I don't know what I did to make it do that, so I'm just going to go to reset all brushes and it should fix it. It sure did. I don't know why I was doing that. And we'll never know. Alrighty. That's about the shape. Gonna remove some volume on the bottom. It's really just a big game of spot the difference. I know I say that all the time, but it's just so true. Kind of letting these toes run up this volume here. There we go. And now I'm going to clip the outside of it. And that will kind of be the portion I can then inset to add claws and that kind of stuff. If I turn off perspective, these should be mostly on the same plane. While I'm at it though, I do want to soften this. I'm going to use Trim Dynamic and kind of carve that bevel in there. Kind of tempted to give him a paw print. Even if it wouldn't be fitting. There we go. And Dynamesh at a nice low resolution. The shape is shaping. It's happening. Alright, last but not least, I do want to add some of these claws, but I do kind of want to already merge it into this base foot here so I can kind of get these forms a little more seamless. Yeah, okay. Got these two pieces here. I'm going to send them to the bottom. I'm actually going to Dynamesh all of it together, but just in case I decide I didn't like that, I am going to duplicate this so I have another piece. 'Cause every now and then I'll merge things down in Dynamesh and then I'm like, I forgot how to do this, or I forgot how to transition these shapes. Alright, I'm going to use my clay brush to kind of build up these forms, and now I can really start to follow this reference here. So to any of my students, like especially I know Empress might be watching this and thinking, wait, why did you have the individual subtools and then you merge them down? It's because the seams in between the subtools were making it more difficult for me to see what the shape actually looked like. And by merging them down, I really have a lot more control over how that looks. There's really just, when it comes down to it, you guys probably noticed this, there's not a hard and fast rule to most of this. Some things I understand a little better, so I construct them totally different. Others I kind of take a more rudimentary or more convoluted approach. It really just depends. But at the end of the day, it's always just about identifying shapes and trying to make that shape. Like right here, I see there's a very clear edge on all of these toes, so now I'm going to start creating that clear edge. If I want to clean this up, I could probably zero mesh by half a few times. Let's see how that looks. Kind of curious what that gets me. Yeah, I like that better than this. And then there is a slight blob effect almost, or inflate on the edge of these toes. And wherever there's kind of like a knuckle or a joint. So I'm gonna go ahead with my inflate brush and kind of add that in. All right, let's add some claws. And to do that, I'm simply gonna take a sphere, kind of make it a lighter tan color here. Make it small, stretch it out, and then use bend arc. Sometimes I taper, sometimes I don't. It's not really a rhyme or reason to it, if I'm being honest. I'm gonna clip just the back half off of this. And there you go, a claw. I can add like wear and tear onto it later, but right now I'm just kind of keeping it nice and clean and simple. So I think all these toes here, I have them, they're kind of pointing downwards a little more than I want. So I'm gonna see if I can mask all of them at once and just bend them back a touch. I'll make sure my gizmo is centered when I do that. There we go. Actually, it didn't. That wasn't too bad. Let's do more of a... some more height here on the side. Yeah. Kind of like that. And now I have a bit more room for these claws to touch the ground. Sweet. I'm gonna go to the underside. I'm gonna make the outside claws a tiny bit smaller and then rotate them. There we go. I feel like all at once it looks kind of like a thing now. And then of course this little, I'm calling it a dew claw, but then I put it on the outside of the foot. The fourth toe. Put that right here. I like it. All right, got a pretty simple dragon foot shape here. I'm not gonna worry about the scale details. I'm really not sure how I'm gonna texture this yet. If it's gonna be more scaly or more furry, I'm not certain yet. So I'm not gonna make that decision quite yet. I'm actually gonna name these foot and nails. Oh, you know what? I actually do need to merge these down. That way I can move them into place. Ooh, I also want to separate these toenails really quick because they're just higher poly. They need them to be at 16,000 points. Let's bring them down. Oh, here we go. $5,000 is just fine. I can add subdivision levels later, and then if I want to detail them, I'll just kind of cracks and stuff. Perfect. All right, now come back to my first visibility set. And let's tack on these feet. Oh, that's right, I kept a copy of it just in case I decided I was not going to like it. So I can do a little before and after. So yeah, this is the foot blob we had initially, and then here's kind of the refined shape. Let me put them on the right order. I got after before going on right now. There we go. a little before and after. It has to look like this before it's gonna look like this. And honestly, this is still gonna go through an equal amount of improvement. Like the difference you see here is still gonna happen at least one more time. It's one step at a time. All right, delete that blob. Okay. I'm going to lower the base so I have lots of room to tack on these feet. And I might decide I don't like them and just give them hooves, but I think if I can manage to get these dragon feet to kind of give more of that gargoyle look, it will be a better synthesis of like this dragon idea and minotaur idea as opposed to just a bull with wings. So I don't want him inset like a bulldog. I do think when they're kind of pointing outwards like this, it makes them look a bit tougher. And I do like that it looks kind of splayed out too. So again, I can have that small toe on the inside like a dew claw, or I can have it on the outside like that. I'm undecided on how I want to do it. I think it is going to be on the outside. I'll need to actually like tilt this part of the bone back to blend, but I'm not going to do that quite yet. Yeah, that's good. Mirror and weld. I'm going to hide these back little foot nubs that we have. Duplicate this and then give him like extra large back feet that are even more splayed than the front feet. Maybe I'll even add like a fifth toe that kind of hooks off the back. Let's make that smaller. Ooh, scaly on the front, feathers on the back hooves. I like that idea. I like that idea a lot. I'm probably gonna end up doing that. All right, we're gonna blend this. I do have the dragon feet on the back right now, but the feathers idea was great. I kind of want these to look like longer toes. Nah, it's good. It's good. Leave it. I'm gonna try this out first, just having all the dragon feet, but nah, if we have the hooves at least somewhere though, I think Sator's right. It's gonna be like the best blend of both. Also, we need to bring this belly down. He's looking really snatched. There we go. Michael says he needs an opposable thumb to hold and grab things like an eagle claw. That's really not a bad idea too. Especially because someone's using this as their player character. And that makes me feel like they need opposable thumbs for reasons. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna like the back feet a ton. I think Sator's spot on with this. It's gonna be hooves, but with the feathers. And by feathers, we mean like long fur. All right, let's get more of a hoof shape going on. What do we think about making these cloven, you know, like a cow? I'm gonna grab the knife lasso brush and just kind of cut that shape in. I always do it the wrong way first. It's just the way of things. Just do a really rough cut for now. Man, those are wobbly looking. This would be much easier if I put it centered. Again, I'm gonna cover them up with a bunch of feathers anyway. This is that meme straight up of just like how a show starts versus how a show ends. Oh goodness. Sator says, just saying, Minotaur is typically bull legs and human arms, so you might as well just replace the human bits with dragon bits and keep the bull. Ah, that's a good point. That's a good point. I like it. Go ahead and widen this up. There we go. Reminder that your 3D model is 3D, so look at it in lots of different angles. It's got the funniest little back feet right now. All right, I'm not going to worry about much more than that as of this moment. I'm going to duplicate the, what is this called? The lower part of the hind leg, below the hawk. And from this, we're going to kind of create those feathers. I'm also going to do it out of symmetry because there's something about working in symmetry. Sometimes, I just don't like it. I'm going to cut the top half off. And then where are my back legs? I did not delete all of you. There, you definitely have some somewhere. Why are you acting like I did not make a duplicate of you? I did. Okay. Apparently there are now no back legs at all. Whatever. I'm gonna duplicate this. Fixed. Rotate. There we go. I'm going to make these hooves a darker color. Mostly just so I can see and have them contrasting. I'm going to make the nails a darker color as well. I feel like his toes look way too tiny as of right now, but we'll deal with that later. Same with this funny little nose. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm being distracted. Don't want to move around too much on the model. There we go. Just small little adjustments as I see them. I'm gonna use my standard brush and start adding some, kind of looking like fabric fold essentially right now. Mostly just getting this a messier shape. There we go, more of a taper. Again, the #1 priority is to get shapes down, then refine them. Especially here where like, I'm probably gonna be changing the concept a bit still. All right, what do we got going on here? This point is way too close to this point. There's a few things we can do to, he's so close together. One of the easiest things to fix that is to go to Transpose Master, so that's what we're gonna do. We go to, get rid of the feet, Z plugin, Transpose Master. Again, I was planning on making him more like a gargoyle bull, not bull, like gorilla shape. And then as I started working on him, I was like, it's gonna be a bull. It's being closer to a bull. So let me find a reference of a cow. I'm gonna make him as short as possible, as like gorilla-esque, without being so boxy and silly right now. All right, gonna bring that hip up. More like a cow. Again, that's why I had like this kind of like sloped thing going on originally, and a cow would be more like, move this back, and larger. More like this, right? I do want some of that gorilla element there, so I will probably keep some of that slant. Also, I feel like his front feet are so tiny. Gonna make those larger and longer. I like the front silhouette quite a lot. Could probably push that even further. Look at me fixing things I already liked. Stop it. Move on to the problem. Looks like a baby. All right. Gonna mask right behind the hindquarters and just moving it back a touch. I don't mind the idea of it being kind of slanted. I almost think like, I don't know, those German Shepherds that are trained to walk with that weird show walk. Kind of kick those back legs out a little bit. Kind of like that. And then it's kind of honoring this reference here too. This poor tail has gotten so mangled throughout the process. And that's why I don't spend too much time on any one piece early on. So I'm probably just gonna mangle it and change it anyway. Alright, let's connect that. This, currently, the back shape is just a cube, which is not right. So we're going to add a ridge on the back, which is where that spine's going to be. I'm kind of too low poly for it to let me do that. I'm doing my best. Let's make these hindquarters larger too. Much larger. Where's the meat? There we go. Where's the beef? And he will still have this booty. That's a bit better. Aloha says, damn, this bowl is built like my fat aunt. Looks great. That's mean. Oh, man. That was a niche comment. I love it. And then my default is to make this like full crazy monster, which is like a super tall, long neck and stuff, but this is a player character, believe it or not, so I don't want this getting too ridiculous and big because then it won't fit on the base. Interesting. We got interesting problems to solve here. Also, this long tail, I'm really not digging it as much as I thought I would. You might end up with like this little short tail. I'm not certain. Either way, I did what I'm going to do in Transpose Master, so we'll jump back. And we'll keep on going. An improvement was made. Yay. Alright, so back to this silly thing. The low res is so low res. That's fine. So I'm just looking at this, and I'm just thinking. We don't want these rocks up front because they're honestly just getting in the way. So I'm gonna delete those. Here we go. And we're gonna scoot this back because again, I need to somehow feasibly make this fit on a base. There we go. And now I'm gonna come through with my clay brush and just kind of add some more volume. And then Sater says, is Aloha Dudley Dursley? Oh my gosh. Yeah, she is kind of built like that. I want to be a wizard. Alright, now we're adding more volume. So I'm going to really focus on this like spine ridge. And then just like think of all of the material or like the cow and like all the meat and fat kind of just sinking off of that. So that's kind of what cows really look like too. They have this really prominent spine. Still gonna have a booty. Let's kind of not lose track of stuff here. And again, I'm really just throwing a lot of material on here. Kind of messy. because it's fun right now. And I'm like, there's a rib cage in there somewhere. And again, this like little skin flap on the bottom. And then there's also an additional little like skin flap thing that connects to the hind legs. So I need to remember that. Okay, now these front feet I think are too big. Aloha says, those neck fat folds look great. Squidge. Aloha, sometimes you replace my, like if I ever feel like I'm being self-critical, I just replace it with Aloha self-dialogue. Because when I first read that, those neck fat folds look great, my first thought was, no they didn't, no they don't. It took like 10 seconds of scribbling, and I'm like, we're gonna go with Aloha's comment, because that was nicer. A little replacement. So thank you. I appreciate that. And I agree. Alright, how does this fit? I don't know what a hind leg looks like. I could find out. There we go. Just keep on moving that back. I went a little too ham with this concavity here. That's fine. Alright, shapes are shaping. I don't know what a cow butt looks like. They have such a like strong, weird pelvis that stands out. Like even cows that are well fed look like they're starving sometimes, I swear. Okay, that's really exaggerated, but kind of. My belligerence to not just pull up a cow reference right now. I will. Alright, we are gonna go with a shorter tail. Just because I don't like this one. I might go with a really long, dramatic, cool tail later, once it's posed, but as of right now, it looks stupid. So, yeah. I like this, the way that it wraps around at the very, very end, but yeah, not right now. Alright, we are going to grab this, and we're going to use a bend curve modifier, because I cannot sculpt this nice little curve to save my life right now. There we go, that's all I wanted. I just wanted a little doot. That's it. Standing like a dog at those dog shows right now. I'm gonna duplicate this little fur tuft just to make it look a little fluffier. Neat. Sarah says, Mia, do you want some references? No, not yet. We're at the end of second Tavern Keeper's Craft. I'm like, or is this your I'll do it myself moment? It is one of those moments of which I'm totally gonna be like, this is a future Mia problem, and then be like, wow, have I ever seen a cow? And again, the answer is yes, but I am having fun kind of like fusing different anatomy right now. All the more reason to why I should have lots of references. God, he looks ridiculous and really cool and weird. Alright. Can't decide what's gonna be what colors. And these feathers don't look as feathery as I want them to be. More feathery. Here, we're going to fluff. Really dramatic, really ridiculous. That's better. Just so I know later what this even is and how I'm supposed to texture it. I'm definitely missing an entire bone right here somewhere. It's fine. Alright. And then what's gonna pull all this together, it's like, don't look at this confusing anatomy. Hey look, wings! My favorite distraction. Alright, we're gonna zero mesh by half, because these are kind of funny and placeholders as is. Ooh, that was by same. I was gonna say, I'm like, why did you triple my poly count? Please don't. There we go. Honestly, what I'll probably end up doing is making these single-sided planes just to have like maximum control over them. As of right now, I'm creating a new wing shape here, and I'm not certain what I'm gonna end up wanting out of it, so I'm not too picky with how all this is looking just yet. Ooh, I might like the darker wings better. Yeah. Okay. Now it's time to make the wings an interesting shape, and then I can intelligently construct them later. As of now, I just want it to be fun. So they have this point right here, they have it way up here instead. I kind of like that. Let's go to T-pose mesh, and then we'll mess with the wing shape. I have all the components, they're just kind of in weird spots. Turn on symmetry, grab my gizmo, and I'm just gonna kind of pull and move it around. Yeah, I don't hate that. And then we're gonna grab just this section, and I'm gonna use my transpose line to just kind of move the shape around. Again, once you have the base pieces, you can really iterate from that a lot faster. I'm gonna kind of move these in more. I'm gonna use move topological and kind of just scoot things around. Kind of just making the shape a little rougher. Because as of right now, I'm about to do some witchcraft with these wings so that it's gonna fit on a base at all. This is what I'm talking about, where I'm like, just get the components, get the pieces, doesn't matter. The proportions, you can deal with that later. But if you don't have any pieces, you can't move anything around. Yeah, looking like a thing. Slater says, well, I found some decent references if you want it. I do want them. I'm not going to use them right now because we're almost at the end here, but then I will have them for when I do this correctly later. And to be clear for everyone watching, it's like, can you do it correct now so I can learn? I'm being dramatic. Nothing about this is actually that wrong or whatever. I'm just being silly and I'm being dramatic. And that's all I have to say about that. Oh, heck yeah. And this is like a really good, these are great references. Okay, yeah, so I had that right, like the top ridge, but what I totally messed up is that, see how you have that outline of the rib cage? They got this giant belly. We missed that. Yeah. Excellent. Oh my god, that poor thing looks uncomfortable. Cool. Thanks, later.
Hello.
Hello. Oh my gosh, the lid. Wow. That looks bitchin'. Okay, so Ricky's been doing woodcraft stuff again. And yeah, this is out of hardwood. Their logo. It's backwards, because the screen's backwards. Why was my immediate reaction just to turn it upside down? Anyway, but yeah, we're making dice boxes again. So that's the inside of it. This is made out of cherry, right?
Yes.
Yeah. But the future ones are going to be made out of cherry because we don't know where to find cherry in Tennessee. But probably like poplar or something. And they'll be stained.
Probably some red oak, maybe.
Yeah, something pretty. But that's gorgeous, Ricky. Oh my god. It smells good too. But yeah, we're doing stuff again. This is bitchin'. You're bitchin'.
Woo.
I love it. I seriously love it.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah. Oh, they say hi. You didn't say hi to the peasants.
Hello.
There you go. I got you. M3DM. M3M. Yeah. Alright, let's put this back. T-pose sub T. We got some weird deformation here that I'm not going to fix. I'm just going to cut it off. Use Tennessee cedar. Yeah, we're probably going to. Alright. I'm going to trim these up a little bit. I don't like how bent some of them got. Stop it. There we go. Was not hard to fix. Like, it's cool how droopy these are or whatever, but like, they're not gonna fit. Let's stretch these down a little bit more. Something kind of like that. And then I can make them really like messy too. Again, it's about the shape. It's the most important thing. Select the other thing. There we go. This is pretty cool. Michael says, oh, it's mirrored. I thought you were just left-handed this entire time. Yeah, no, it is mirrored. It's so the camera composition looks better. So when I look down at the tablet, it looks like I'm looking into the screen from your guys' view, because in reality, I'm actually doing this. Which just, can you guys imagine this was the stream? Like me working like this? I just think it looks weird. So that's why we have the camera mirrored. Yes. Duke says, the way the red and white pitch stripes go together is beautiful. It really is. Alright, we are going to merge these wings down. Grab just one side so I can get a like bend on them. Notice how I'm constructing them perfectly flat? That's just so they're easier to manage. It is best to add the curve last. Because, again, the same way you're working with complexity of shapes, like from big to small, it's the same way you go from like simple shapes to more complicated shapes. And a straight line is inherently more simple than a curve. So I work on a straight line, and then at the end is when I will add a curve. So I can kind of swoop that in. Hey, you unswooped. There we go. I'm gonna tuck these behind his shoulder blades. Something like that. I probably swooped him a little too much. Yeah, I did. Something kind of like this is how I'm going to manage to fit it onto a base. It's going to be cool though. Let's move that up and out of the way. And then let's improve the poly paint a little bit. I'll show you guys a couple tricks here. I'm going to use my paintbrush, grab, drag rectangle, and then we're going to pitch this color just a touch darker. Kind of just run some coloring on top. Make sure you lower your RGB intensity, otherwise it's going to look really harsh. I think I need to make his eyes like really bright red or something eye-catching. Not crazy about that. Let's still fit in the color palette, shall we? And also, if you want to make something look lighter, you have a couple options. You can literally just make that color lighter, or you can make it lighter and make the colors around it darker. Both work. Well, considering we had a sphere a couple hours ago, and now we have this, not mad about it. Pretty damn cool. I'm gonna go with a lighter color for the hooves. Kind of get things a little more uniform. trying things out. Trying out some different color palettes I think I might like a little bit more. Yeah. When something's really low poly, it's kind of difficult to poly paint it. So I'm add a few subdivision levels, and then even better, I'll add some weathering really quick. And again, details get all of the credit. They really do. They're one of the easiest things to add. There we go. Let's get a spin around on this. So this is where we were really quite some time ago. This is what we have now. So it's looking like something. Here's a little recap on that as well. Here's one of our earliest blockout stages. This was like what, I would say 20 minutes in. It's kind of fun to see it come together. So one, very dragon, more on the weird gorilla proportions. Didn't like it as much. Went more literal on the bull here, and even further here. But then with wings. Just kind of go through that 1, 2, 3 a few times. And all this was done in streams. If you have any questions, like, wait, how did you do that? You can ask me now, or just rewind. That works too. All right, last but not least, we are going to merge visible. Let's see if we can get a cool render going on here. Obviously still has a lot of work that needs to be done, but this was a lot of fun. Thanks for hanging out with me as I worked on this. Wasn't sure how cool it was going to turn out or not, but I'm pretty happy with it. I love streaming and hanging out with y'all. Especially, I just like demystifying things that look overly complicated. They really don't have to be. You can do this too. You can absolutely learn how to do this. All right, end of stream spiel. If you want to 3D print the things that you're seeing today, you can do that. I have a Patreon where you can get access to everything I've ever sculpted. It's over 1,000 models ready for 3D printing now for 15 bucks a month. And you can submit a request every single month. This is a request. Every single model you've seen me sculpt in the last several years has been a request from Patreon. That's how it works. Really cool. And then everyone gets to enjoy it, you know? So for you, it might be a player character, but for someone else, it might be their big bad evil guy. It's just really cool. All right, and if you want to learn how to sculpt, also a thing that I do, different Patreon. Both are linked in the description. Look at me doing the business, doing the ad. But seriously, I really love what I do, and that's really dark. It's a little darker than I was wanting. And it's just a joy to be able to share that on stream. Again, so live streaming, like streaming like this, this isn't my job, but I stream my job, if that makes sense. It's just like a fun extra thing I started doing last October, and I'm still doing it because it's just fun to have an audience and people that I'm talking to as I work. Because art can be kind of quiet, you know? Like just you and yourself and your thoughts. And I definitely think talking through my process makes me a better artist. Can we get a cool render on here, please? Not so dark. It's probably the best we're gonna get. Anyway, this is all done from scratch today. Usually I do more of a combination of kit bashing previous models or elements of models, but it's fun every now and then. I do this at least a few times a month where I just do everything from a sphere, and it's fun. It's a good time. All right, let's take a screenshot of our progress today, and then we'll move on into last call. Smile. Aloha says, I just realized I didn't do the spooky season graphics. I noticed and I was like, I am not going to put that on you right now because it's very sweet. You jump straight to Christmas and I'm okay with that. But yeah, there is a whole other season that happens before winter. But that's a-okay. I'm still super pumped. That's all extra. If you want to do it, great, but you don't have to. You crack me up. All right, we're moving into last call. But yeah, not bad for a couple hours. It's gonna be really cool when I'm done with it. Sad face, Aloha. I plan on streaming tomorrow. More of a normal stream, I imagine, tomorrow. So TAVERB menu will be back open, which means that donations actually get you something, as opposed today the TAVERB menu is closed. If you were to donate, you would just get a smile and a big thank you. But tomorrow we'll go back to like Wheel of Chaos and all that kind of fun stuff, Q&A sessions and whatnot. So yeah, that's the plan. Any last minute questions? We're wrapping up the stream right now. This is the end. Rodolfo says, I love how it's turning out. Me too. Me too. It's early and it's already kind of cool. So happy about that. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Rodolfo says, thank you for the stream. Thank you for watching. Great, Jen. And then Sailor says to Aloha, it's not September yet. You have time, but only 2 more days, so don't fail. Oh, man. Yeah, this was like a jam-packed stream as far as like getting through. Ross, did you just fall out of bed? Little dude. Did you guys hear that? Like, that was not graceful. He just like, where'd you go? I know. Hey, Maverick, can you go to bed so they can see you? Go to bed. Go. There he goes. He's visible. There he is. Black as night. What a good boy. Rodolfo says, I love the blockout stage. Me too. It got a lot more fun when I didn't have to worry about, is it ever gonna look good? It looks stupid. It's gonna look good. Now I'm like, I know it's gonna look good. I don't know how long it's gonna take, but it's gonna look cool eventually, so kick back and enjoy the ride. Yeah. Oh, and Ezekiel says, awesome job today. Thank you so much. Sater says, how did a pug make that much noise falling off a 4-inch cushion? Okay, yeah, I'm glad you guys all heard that. If I had to guess what happened, so he likes to sleep on his back when he's on that cushion. So if I had to guess, he probably like rolled out of bed and like panicked on the way. Yeah. Yeah, Dracotar. Dracotar is the best. How has no one else said that yet? Dracotar. That's what we're calling this. That's awesome. I like it. Dracotar. Alright, y'all. Thanks for hanging out. Like the stream on your way out. You guys definitely made my day a bit better by hanging out with me while I sculpt. I hope your day is a little bit better because you're part of the stream. Alright, that's it. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye!